everyone, hope you're all doing good. This is a video I've been planning on making for well over a year now. It's been many years in the making. This video is to announce that my debut EP entitled Warrior in the Clouds is coming out this Friday, the 24th of June 2022. It will be available on my YouTube channel. It will premiere midnight on the 24th, and it'll also be on all the streaming services like Spotify and iTunes and Apple, all the big ones, and also it'll be on Bandcamp, other sites like Discogs as well, SoundCloud, all of them, SubmitHub as well. Also, just to let you know that it was available to pre-save on Amazon, iTunes and Apple yesterday on the 19th of June. So if you want to pre-save it, that'd be awesome. So yeah, basically in this video I am going to state everything you need to know about the release. So for Friday, you know exactly what you're in for. And yeah, before we get into the video, if you're not subscribed, please drop me a subscribe, especially for this release. As I say, this has been a long time coming, so this is the perfect time to subscribe to my channel, and you definitely won't want to miss it. Firstly, before I get into talking about the album, I just want to give some thank yous and shout outs to a lot of important people. For me anyway, firstly I want to thank my family, especially my parents, for allowing me to do this, YouTube, and make this EP, and try and follow my dream of being a musician. This is my first real proper step, and I really thank them for allowing me to do this. Yeah, my other family members, my close friends, in the VC, out of the VC, you all know who you are. Really appreciate all of you. And anybody else who has shown any kind of support for this EP, and yeah, for my YouTube channel as well. Really appreciate everyone, especially as well all the new subscribers that I've gained over the last few weeks. I really appreciate all of you subscribing, and yeah, as I said, you've joined on at the best time, the correct time, so that's excellent. And lastly, my two brilliant friends, Alfie and Kim, for basically making this EP possible. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without either you two, and also all the people I mentioned before. I couldn't have done any of this without you. And also, lastly, just to finish up with this, I'm going to dedicate this release to my nan, who passed away in December 2021. Yeah, I'm sure that she would have really loved to hear this and support me as well, and unfortunately she never get to hear this. So yeah, so nan, this is for you. So a little bit of backstory now. The sort of overall goal of my release come mainly from many years of trying to find a band. Before I even started YouTube, I was struggling to find a path in life in general. But yeah, around sort of 2020, I took it upon myself to start this YouTube channel, try and help myself get out there to people, and then make my own music, which in turn will hopefully help me maybe find bands or find other musicians to play with. That's the goal anyway. I really hope this EP will be like the first step to be fulfilling the dream that I've got of being a musician and making a career out of this. And hopefully it'll take me up to that next level, get me on, first real stepping stone anyway. So yeah, I feel like with this EP, I've got everything to prove, as it's my debut EP, it's my debut music in general. So yeah, I've put a lot of work into all of the tracks, every song, every riff, every solo, everything, and I really hope you'll enjoy it. Now we're going to cover the writing process just briefly. I wrote a lot of these tracks and like riff ideas originally wrote between the ages of 15 and 19, and I'm 22 now, so they've had quite a long time to develop from that stage, or for them stages. Over the last couple of years I've really sort of refined these tracks. These songs have all been inspired by music I was listening to at the time, between 15 and 19 years old. And at the time I was new to playing guitar. I started playing guitar when I was 14, so listening to music and writing random riffs that sort of was reminiscent of what I was listening to was a massive help for me for my guitar playing, at that early stage. And from that spawned tons and tons of ideas that I have written down in a folder down there. I've got this folder full of riffs that I come up with between like ages of 15, 19. So yeah, maybe one day we'll see how, like, if some of them riffs that I've still got left over, see what we can do with them. But yeah, quite a lot of these songs came from quite a dark time in my life, around 18. Lots of things was going on at that point, and music was really the only thing that I had really. And I think a lot of that, what I was feeling at the time, is reflected in these songs. A lot of it is very dark and very heavy and very angry, and also it's a little bit sad at times, but also it has its ominous, powerful and upbeat moments as well. It's sort of a mix of everything going on really. Now we're going to move on to the musical style of this EP, and this project is a solo project, so the musical style is very different. There isn't one song, there isn't two songs that sound similar. They're all like the complete opposite to the previous song. And this EP is fully instrumental, which I know some people might be put off by that because can't listen to songs without singing in it. But I know a lot of people would be interested in that, because instrumental music is very much what I was listening to a lot, and sort of the instrumental guitarist that I listened to was a big inspiration for this EP and my solo projects anyway. But the main genres that I would call this EP is instrumental rock / metal, heavy metal, and even a bit of thrash metal in there. Although there is more to it than that. There is some death metal in there, some classic rock, hard rock, grunge, groove metal, neoclassical metal, and even some classical music as well. So a bit of all sorts in there. And my biggest influences for this project include Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, Joe Satriani, Randy Rhoads, Marty Friedman, Led Zeppelin, Machine Head, Nirvana, Pantera, Obituary, and Slayer. So next up, I'm going to talk about the album artwork and the album title. So I come up with the title from watching an old advert on TV. I think it was like a Strongbow advert, and it was like this cloud figure with a bow and arrow, and that always kind of stuck with me. And also the term Cloud Warrior that I kind of come up with from that. And from there I came up with the term Warrior in the Clouds, which eventually stuck because I thought it would make a really great album title, album artwork, and yeah, it stuck. I always had the idea of this like cloud battle going on for the artwork, but I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it because I'm not the most artistic person, and yeah, instead of paying hundreds of pounds to a professional where, you know, they would have done a really good job, but I, in the end, decided I'd have a go myself, and here is a picture of the art. It will be here. So, yeah. Firstly, I hope you enjoy it. I think it looks really good. I always had a clear vision of what I kind of wanted it to look like. I learned how to use Photoshop, which was very kindly given to me by my cousin. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, but I learned how to use it and eventually come up with this. And yeah, I really appreciate all the feedback I got from the friends that I sent it to when I was making it. So basically, I made the artwork by taking a load of pictures from my bedroom window with my phone, all sorts of different clouds and different sort of scenes, and then I used Photoshop to merge them all together. You know, I picked some of the best ones and merged them all together, reversed some of them so then they looked symmetrical, and then some of the details I just got like a little picture of a cloud, cropped it, and, you know, distorted it to make it look like that something was going on in the background, like an explosion or whatever. Yeah. The Cloud Warrior is actually a photo of me holding a clothesline prop. Yeah. Basically what I did, I cropped around myself, got a picture of a cloud and sort of shaped it around myself, and then with the spear I sort of filled it in to make it look a bit more like a spear than a clothes prop. The album title font I found on Photoshop. It's a basic one on Photoshop, but I thought it worked really well. And the logo of my name I found on this website called FontSpace, which was recommended by my mate Kim. So that's awesome. Now we're moving on to the fun stuff now. We're getting into the recording and mixing of the EP. So basically with this, I wanted to make the most professional product that I could with these songs, but I have no recording experience. I'm a novice to all of this, to be honest. But luckily my good mates Alfie and Kim, who they've got their own band called Lilac Fall, they've made their own songs and they do their own production and all that stuff. They kindly offered to help me with this project, which, yeah, I'm really grateful to, because it wouldn't have happened without them now. And yeah, since sort of 2020-ish, we were holding conversations about it. I had a clear vision of what I wanted the tracks to sound like and be like. I sent over a load of demos that were really rough and out of time and with no drums or nothing like that. Just guitars and bass, and that was it. I recorded them all on Cubase, and I originally had 12 tracks that I wanted for this full album, but we quickly decided to basically split the full album in half into an EP. So as like making 12 would have took even longer to make. We would be nowhere near done right now. So yeah, what we did, we picked what we thought were the best 6 songs out of the 12, make them, release them, and then when they're done, we'll make a start on the other 6, and then when they're done, we'll release the other 6 as the full album, basically. So yeah, we started recording this back in June 2021. Kim played the drums, Alfie played the bass, and I did the guitars and the MIDI instruments as well. We had a few bumps in the road here and there. with not being able to get stuff sorted out every week. But we got there in the end. We finally finished recording in April 2022, and then we got all the mixing done in May 2022. You saw that video. And yeah, Alfie and Kim mastered the tracks, and now they're all ready to go. Now I'm just gonna quickly go over some of the gear that I used for this record. So guitars, I use my Ibanez Gem for pretty much everything, all the leads, the majority of the rhythms. I used my ESP TL6 acoustic for the acoustic bits. There wasn't a lot, but yeah. And I used my Yamaha Pacifica for some of the rhythms as well. Picks, I used my Dunlop Jazz picks. I've got one right here. That's what I use for the whole thing. Amps, I use my Marshall Code 50, and also I used Cubase, the Cubase sounds from Guitar Rig 5, and also I used my Vox wah pedal for some of the guitar solos, and then some of the MIDI inputs I had on Cubase I used with the MIDI keyboard, and then also we used some Logic samples for a couple of little things here and there. Now we are going to do a quick track by track guide of this EP. However, I will be going more in depth on the tracks, the story and the meaning behind them once the EP is out. This is just going to be a bit more brief, basically, just so then this video doesn't go on for 2 hours long. But yeah, this EP, it's not really an EP, it's more like a mini album, 6 tracks, half an hour long. Now let's get into it. So it starts off with The Entity Is Gone, and this is like the intro to the album. It's just one massive guitar solo. It sets up the whole EP. It kind of lets you know this is what you're in for this half an hour, basically. It's very much like new wave of British heavy metal, speed metal kind of vibes going on. And you've already heard the intro to the start of this video, and also the little teaser last week as well. Yeah, I wanted some crazy samples to add the suspense at the start, and then it just goes straight into the track. Track 2 is the title track, Warrior in the Clouds, and this is sort of like a track of 2 halves, really. The first half is very similar to like instrumental rock, hard rock, but then the second half it kind of goes into this crazy like neoclassical like shred fest, like a neoclassical metal style. It's very angry, very heavy, and basically it's a massive shred off between myself against myself. Track 3 is titled DIE brackets Desolation in Extremis, and this is a very thrash metal sounding track. You've actually heard a little bit in the teaser video I did when the mixing was done, and we played a good like 10 seconds of it. Yeah, this song embodies that classic 80s thrash metal sound, with lots of different tempo changes, leads throughout, but it also has a pretty big emphasis on the riff. And also, I was really pleased with Kim's drumming throughout this track, because he doesn't know metal drums too well, so he had to learn how to sort of play thrash metal drums, and he did everything I asked. I was so over the moon with it. Track 4, and this is called Faded Feelings. This is a bit of a different sounding track. It's very classical. It's basically just classical music with a classic rock sound as well. The first half I wanted more emphasis on the sort of orchestral classical side. A lot of MIDI instruments used there. Also Alfie played the little piano bits, because I originally did them and I hated them, so Alfie done them way better than me. I was really happy with them. And then for the middle section to the end, sort of has the more emphasis on the rock side, finishing out with this wonderful outro solo, which I'm super proud of, and I think it's the best solo on the whole album. Next one, track 5, is called Society Inc. And this is like a really heavy grunge sounding track. It's really angry and heavy, and it literally just smacks you right in the face. If this song had come out in like 1993, I think it would have done pretty well. It has that kind of vibe to it. This is the only song out of the 6 to have lyrics, not exactly singing. It's just a tiny little spoken word part, sort of towards the middle, which is done by me, and we put loads of cool effects on it. There isn't really much to this song, but there doesn't need to be a lot. It kind of just does what it's meant to do. It's just one angry, messed up piece of music. And the last track is called Death Ritual, and this is like the extreme metal track of this EP. It's a really cool way to close the EP out. It's the longest song on the EP as well. It's over 7 minutes long. There's lots of elements of death metal here, groove metal as well, and a little gothic-y kind of sounding intro as well. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy, brutal, technical riff in here, but also it has the emphasis on the riff, same as DIE, and also there's some leads throughout that just complement what's going on, really. And once again, I'm super happy with Kim's drumming performance on this, because again, he's not a massive metal guy, but he just did a fantastic job with this. And also, just to note that some of the double kick drums on this was done on a MIDI thing, but don't let that tarnish the song, because the drumming's still fantastic. Next up, I'm just going to go over quickly some little promotional things for the EP. Basically, I put the tracks on DistroKid, which distributed all the tracks onto all of the big streaming sites like Spotify and iTunes and Apple and all of them, Amazon, everything. And the other sites that I mentioned as well, like Bandcamp and all of them, will be available to hear it on. Also my YouTube channel, as I've said. And also, I would absolutely love it if you could just share this video and the tracks with anyone and everyone, basically. I want as many people to hear it as possible. And yeah, I would just really appreciate everyone's support. If they could even share it to just one person, that would be more than enough for me. Also, in a couple of weeks' time from the release, maybe 2 weekends after the release, I will be doing a live stream on this channel, doing basically the whole EP in a live set, and then later on it will be up. Every track will be uploaded separate on YouTube, so if you missed the stream, you can always watch those if you wanted to see the live performances. And also, before the stream goes live, I will schedule it so you'll know when it's going live. Also, I've always had this idea, and to basically have my songs as background music in these style of videos instead of just nothing, because I think that would just make my videos even more professional, to have some music going on in the background. And no better way to promote my music if I put my own music in my own videos. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And also, nearly lastly, if there's going to be enough demand from people, if people really enjoy this album and they really want it, I will make some physical CDs and I will send it to whoever wants it, basically. Yeah, just make sure to contact me via my email on my YouTube About page. It's that email is jjkbusiness@gmail. So yeah, it's on my YouTube About page. I'll probably leave it in the description of this video as well. If you want to contact me about possibly buying a physical copy, that would be fantastic. And also, please feel free to drop me an email if you would be interested in reviewing this EP on your YouTube channel or whatever. I can send you the tracks early and we can get that sorted out. If anyone would want to do that, that would be massively appreciated, and that would be awesome. So just before I go and leave you to have an agonizing wait for this EP to come out, I just wanted to have some end thoughts just to round this video up. I had a clear vision of what I wanted everything to look and sound like for this project. Yeah, I knew what I wanted, though I did not really know how to achieve it. I'm so grateful to everyone for the support and the help I've been given, to make this album possible. I'm really happy with everything. I feel like all the songs, the album art, all turned out better than what I could possibly imagine, and I'm really grateful for everyone, basically. I wanted this album to look and be as professional as possible, but being made on the smallest budget and in the most unprofessional way, because I made a lot of this up as I went along because I had no clue what I was doing, basically. But also, with this album, I just want to prove that you can do anything when you put your mind to it. No matter what anybody says, no matter what's going on in your mind, you can do it. If I can do this, anybody can. And I want this to be able to inspire other people to go and follow their passion and just go and do it, regardless of the odds, regardless of what anyone says, and regardless of what your mind's telling you. You can do it, and that'd be brilliant. That'd be awesome. Just go and do it. And yeah, most of all, lastly, I really hope you'll go and listen to the EP and you'll enjoy it, and you'll really like it. And I really hope to see a lot of feedback from the tracks and all your thoughts of everything. Thank you ever so much. Thanks ever so much for watching this video, and goodbye.